And today we are shining the spotlight on Kailash Satyarthi. He's the 7th Indian to win the Nobel Prize, and this is the 10-year anniversary of him winning that Nobel Peace Prize along with Malala Yousafzai. Now, he's a champion of children's rights. He dedicated his life to fighting child labor, advocating for universal education. In fact, he traded a career as an electrical engineer for a life of activism. He also ended up founding the Bachpan Bachao Andolan Save Children movement in 1980. His work didn't go unnoticed, and he shared the 2014 Nobel Peace Prize along with Malala. So what drives Mr. Satyarthi's missions? He believes education is the key to breaking cycles of poverty and exploitation. His movement has liberated over 86,000 children from child labor, slavery and trafficking. And today, when a different kind of problem clouds the young, the youth and the children of the day, we thought it would be a good time to bring him back on the program and get his wisdom on the subject. So joining us now is Mr. Satyarthi. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. So glad to be speaking to you. And firstly, a big congratulations. Abhi kali ki baat lagti hai कि आपका Nobel Peace Prize announce हुआ था, but who would believe it's been 10 years already to that day, to that remarkable day. As you look back on the day when the prize was announced, what thoughts come to mind?
Well, exactly 10 years ago, I was sitting at this place in my office in the same room, and I was working on my computer, and suddenly some journalist from your fraternity called me up, and he said, "Kailash ji, Nobel Prize," and he was so thrilled or so moved, he could not complete his full sentence. And I thought that somebody might have received the prize or the announcement has been made, and he is asking for my comment. So I started Googling Nobel Peace Prize 2014 so that I should not be looked foolish that I had no idea that who has got the Peace Prize this year. And I had no idea that the Peace Prizes are announced that day. So it had not yet came on Google. But suddenly my people from the room downstairs, they rushed up and they started hugging and chanting, and they were so jubilant. I could feel that something is big, but I could not understand that this incident happened with me. But later on I realized that my name was announced for the Peace Prize this year.
How lovely, how lovely. So journalists can take credit for getting it right and getting it first as well in this case. So that's nice to hear. But what a beautiful memory, Satyarthi ji. But the medal now, and a lot of people don't know this story, actually doesn't sit with you. It sits inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan. What triggered you to just give away the medal and give it and dedicate it to the country?
Well, when I met then President Pranab Mukherjee ji, he was very emotional when he was talking about it and congratulating me at Rashtrapati Bhavan. And then suddenly he said that, "Kailash, perhaps you don't know that India, being the land of humanity and peace and non-violence, we don't have one single Nobel medal, not just peace, but any Nobel medal kept on the land of India, because most of the people, almost all, have left India and they have changed their citizenship and they are living somewhere else. The only Nobel medal, according to President Mukherjee, was Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's medal. But unfortunately, it has been stolen. So there was no medal lying in India. So he was very moved telling this story. So that moment I thought that this prestigious prize does not belong to me or just my family or my organization. this belongs to every single citizen of India. It belongs to my motherland, India, because whatever I am today and whatever I have accomplished now is nothing but because of India. So next day, I wrote him a letter that, sir, I wanted to give it away to the nation.
That's very, very thoughtful of you, and what a beautiful gesture for the medal now to be open for anybody who actually visits Rashtrapati Bhavan to go and see and witness themselves. Beautiful messaging there. But Satyarthi ji, help us understand this. 10 years on, the recognition that follows a Nobel Peace Prize, the awareness that for the cause that follows a Nobel Peace Prize, what do you feel we have managed to achieve in these 10 years?
Nobel Peace Prize has definitely helped me to get access to major, policy makers, presidents, prime ministers. It began with President Obama, who was and who is a fellow Nobel laureate. So he agreed to support this idea, and I have met Pope. I have met several presidents and several prime ministers, and they all agreed on it. And we were successful, and it was incorporated in SDGs. Now it's the part of SDG. So that was one thing. But later on, we wanted to bring the Nobel Peace Laureates and other Nobel laureates as the moral voices to speak on behalf of such children who were always neglected or abused. And we have been able to create the laureates and leaders for children, and that has been a major success in bringing together Nobel laureates from all disciplines, and the cause was children. And so this summit was organized, and the outcome of the laureates summit, the document has been introduced in G20 summits, and for the first time the G20 leaders have incorporated all these issues which I am talking about in outcome documents of G20 summits. So we have been able to successfully bring in this whole issue in the global political discourse, especially with those powerful 20 nations.
Right. But as we speak on this issue of children, of Bachpan Bachao, Satyarthi ji, we are in middle of a war. Children are dying every day, suffering in different kinds inside the war zone as we speak. Gaza war has only escalated in the past 1 year. Do you have a lesson or a message perhaps, or a solution for what can be done for the children of Gaza?
Well, there are several proposals being talked about, but the most important thing is that we have to engage these major two nations, or Israel plus other nations, in some dialogue. Without the diplomacy and dialogue, we cannot restore the peace in that region. So that is very important. But as far as I am concerned and my other laureates are concerned, last year on 7th of October, when about 1,400 innocent Israelis, children and women and others were kidnapped by this extremist group Hamas, we knew that the repercussions would be 1,000 times grave and dangerous and disastrous. So I took the initiative and started talking with other laureates, and you will not believe that in all spheres of life, including many of the Nobel laureates, were so divided. Some people were supporting only Israel, and others were talking about saving Palestine and its recognition and so on. But somehow I said that why the innocent children should suffer? Children have never been responsible for wars and conflicts and all kind of politics, dirty politics, what we see now. But why they should pay the highest price for it?
I see. But let me rephrase the question then, Mr. Satyarthi, because just want to get to the bottom of this over here. Do you think today that the UN and the world could have done better for the children of Gaza?
Red Cross as well as other UN agencies are trying their best, but in many places they are not allowed to enter. There are a lot of barricades, there are a lot of weaponry and armed restrictions. They cannot go. So that is a serious problem. But as a Nobel laureate, on behalf of all my colleagues, I can repeat it again that these children are our children. Even if one single child is killed as they are being killed today, unfortunately, we cannot call ourselves safe. We cannot call ourselves civilized. We cannot call ourselves human if we are allowing this to happen. We have to strongly oppose, and we have to rise beyond the politics. We have to rise above the diplomacy. Whatever is your interest, political interest, I appeal all the nations to speak in one tongue, in one language for our children. They are all our children, and we have to be compassionate for them, and compassion for our children is the only solution.
I see. Satyarthi ji, also as we talk about this global issue, the fact that the Peace Prize had gone to you and to Malala together, was it itself such a celebratory moment? The world was looking at it not just as a prize, but as a gesture, as a messaging that had gone on even back then. Today, 10 years on, as you look back at those memories, are you still in touch? Do you have a message for Malala as the Peace Prize completes, as your Peace Prize completes 10 years?
My dear daughter, I always call her daughter, and we talk sometimes, definitely, and I wish that she should become a mother soon, and then I will tell her child to call me Nanu or Nana, whatever. So that is something which is more personal.
That's sweet. Can I bring your attention, Satyarthi ji, to something which is more to do with the kids of the today, the urban kids of today, and a problem that is constantly on the minds of parents and young kids in India and across the globe actually. But in India these days, more and more has been talked about how the bachpan of the kids is being taken away by technology in a way. Screen addiction to apps, to social media websites is really taking over. Would love to sort of understand your take on this screen addiction epidemic of sorts that has taken over the young in the country.
The problem is only that if these are, as I said before, are controlled by those who just wanted to make money at every cost or any cost, they don't care how these young people's mind are being polluted or being, alienated from their own families and so on. This is the problem. If we are able to use the same technology, these are the social media platforms. If these platforms are used for building hopes, building a sense of responsibility for each other, building humanity, that can bring about miracles in the lives of young people, because this is so powerful technology and the power is misused.
That's a good message. The power of technology can be used for so many things, but what it's actually going for is profits, perhaps. That's a good note to sort of end this conversation on. Thank you so much, Satyarthi ji, and congratulations again.